You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
What is going on? Happy New Year. This is episode 279. We are back after about a 2-week hiatus and feeling absolutely amazing. Guests this week include Jeremiah Stays. He is the proprietor, chief editor of DailyDetroit.com and the Daily Detroit
Jeremiah Stays where? Oh, wait, Nuri's
and the Daily Detroit podcast. Also, we got Billy Strouder in the house, CEO. Is he the CEO or are you just like...
It's founder is fine.
Founder.
C question mark.
What about HMF?
It ends with the question mark. CEO?
Of Milo Digital.
Just C question mark. Oh, the chief what officer?
Yeah.
This is going to be a chaotic episode. We're just going to be talking about what we did over break and then kind of kicking off what New Year's and what's upcoming. But hey, you know what? Do you hate your job? How about you just quit? Just like everyone else has thought after they had to go back to work today. Become a developer or data scientist.
Did you see like how crazy that meme went on our Facebook wall?
No.
That's up over like 26,000.
I've had a reinvigorated hatred for my job.
Yeah, exactly. Man returns from vacation with renewed, fresh, invigorated hatred for his job, yeah.
But hey, become a developer or data scientist with Thinkful instead. Thinkful is an online education platform that offers fast-paced learning to take you from beginner to job ready in 6 months or your tuition back. Start off the new year by pursuing your dream career in tech. Do us a favor. Go to Thinkful. That's thinkful.com/IT in the D for a $600 scholarship. That's thinkful.com/IT in the D. Terms and conditions apply.
What movie? I think I might get myself a scholarship.
There it is.
What is that from?
I don't know. Davey,
It's an 80s movie.
Will you shut up and fire one ready?
Fine.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
I'm Wyatt, that's Gary, you're Bob, and you're Dave. This is the IT and the D Show.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress? Detroit?
Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit.
No, not Detroit. No, please. Anything but that. No.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come. Shut up.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
Hi, this is Christy Swanson, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. And Bob and Dave touch my hoo-hoos.
This is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley, and the only two guys I hate more than Dinesh are Bob and Dave. Suck it, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is David Kay, the voice of Professor Xavier. Storm, come here, Storm. Sit on my lap, Storm.
You're listening to IT in the D.
Are we at a break yet?
Hey everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. You're listening to IT in the D. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
This is the Ladies' Man.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
What is a nerd?
Hi, this is Ogre. You listen to a bunch of nerds on the IT and the D? Nerds.
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Hey, Detroit, this is Anthony Michael Hall. You're listening to my buddies Bob and Dave on IT in the D.
Hi, it's Count Chocula, and you're listening to IT in the D. What the hell did I do?
Hey, what up? This is Jay Muse, and you're listening to the IT and D Show. Snooch to the nooch. Listen, Muse, Snoogans.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump. The IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
This is Robert Hayes, the Ted Striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at my gumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hi, this is Jeremy London from Mallrats, and I'm just wondering, how did I go from Hot Floridian Sex with Brandy spinning to the IT&D show?
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D show. Tough guy. Ho!
Dig, you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT and the D.
Skeptical Dave is skeptical.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is IT and the D.
Hi, this is Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science.
So,
Bob and Dave, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
Welcome back, and I'm saying that to us because we've been gone for what, 2.5 weeks? 3 weeks. Oh my God, it's been 3 weeks. Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us. This is the one and only IT and the D show.
I feel like Bobby Beamer in like Grosse Pointe Blank. I have words.
Welcome to the first episode of 2019. This is episode 279. This is Bob the Geek. That is Bob the Geek. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That's Dave the Geek.
Fake news. Fake news.
Nuri the FNG has been flying back home from Bangkok, and boy, are his arms tired.
He had one night in Bangkok.
Right.
And it made a hard man humble.
Shut up. Also joining us in the studio is Randy. I do the Twitters.
Actually, it just made his stomach rumble.
Yeah, I know. Find us online, itandthed.com. Do us a favor. Give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
We're going to do this now?
Yeah.
All right, so cool. So, hey, here's the deal. Incidents happen, and they require complex coordination between operations and software development teams who are putting out fires every day. That's why getting alerts immediately is critical. Thankfully, there's OpsGenie by Atlassian. OpsGenie empowers dev and ops teams to plan for service disruptions and stay in control during incidents. It also gives teams the power to respond quickly and efficiently to unplanned issues. And it helps to notify all the right people through a smart combination of scheduling and escalation that account for things like time zones and holidays. What a novel concept, because that's a real thing when you have international teams. Better yet, OpsGenie allows for deep flexibility in how, when, and where alerts are deployed, with over 200 integrations like Jira, Amazon CloudWatch, Datadog, New Relic, and more. Plus, it tracks all activity and provides useful insights to improve future incident responses. Bob, I know this isn't your world, but this is my world. Like, I feel like I have an email address and a touch point into every single thing they just mentioned. And that's a big thing, like knowing who you can get a hold of and when, because of holidays, schedules, who's off, who's out. I dealt with 2 critical incidents over the break, where like half the team was gone. Something like this would have been helpful.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
Did you say OpsGenie?
Damn sales guy. Yeah. Bob's all in for OpsGenie. That's
a security product for beer.
That's the little midget that shows up out of a bottle that tells him where the beer is. But yeah, but here's the deal. With OpsGenie, your next incident doesn't stand a chance. Visit OpsGenie.com to sign up for a free company account and add up to 5 team members. That's OpsGenie.com. Never miss a critical alert again with OpsGenie.
So do us a favor, mark your calendars. The whole year is pretty much planned out. First Tuesdays of the month, we're going to be in Ann Arbor. Tomorrow? Tomorrow. We're going to be at
second Tuesday, but
whatever, holiday. Yeah. They're going to be at.
You didn't do an event January 2nd? What's wrong with
you? No.
They're going to be over at Haymaker.
We trusted you, Randy.
5 to 8 as always, and then we're going to be there at the on the 17th. Or is it the 19th?
I think 17th.
17th. We're gonna third Thursday, so we're gonna be all year third Thursday.
It's not an Embrew.
We're gonna be It
was scheduled for Embrew.
They have a private event,
but it's not an Embrew.
We're gonna be there at the DSC or Embrew most of the year. But keep tuned to the meetup group, meetup.com/IT to update your calendar and find out where the hell we're gonna be.
We're gonna figure that out after we wrap the show.
Absolutely. So, honest to God, I kind of half worked last week, but today was kind of my first official day back. And literally for probably about 2.5 weeks now, it's been all YouTube all day, all Netflix all night.
YouTube
for about. Oh yeah, I've been going down wormholes on YouTube and looking up
This
the most
scares me
bizarre.
when you do this.
Did your daughters turn you on to Jojo Siwa or something?
No, my wife has banned this particular video series from the TV for all time. Like if she's home and she can hear it in the kitchen, I have to turn it off. So apparently in Russia or in Moscow, they have a very bad problem with A, traffic, B, not caring.
Were you watching Russian dash cam videos again?
No. One step further. So this is it's the people that bypass the traffic and drive on bicycle paths to get around traffic.
Dude, I told you. So I told you I was in Russia. I was in Moscow and St. Pete, 18 years ago. And I thought it was a joke, but like when I got picked up at the airport and the guy's driving, and he blows through a red light. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? He was like, relax. I am master. And we're driving and he blows through another red light. I'm like, dude, we're going to die. He's like, I told you, I am master. And then we come to a green light and he stops. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, there might be master coming that way.
Stop. It's awful.
No, that really happened.
Oh my God. So these videos are called Stop a Douchebag. And basically it's a group of activists. They take up like 5 or 6 at a time.
Okay.
It's certain places they know it's egregious, and they stand in the sidewalk. And this is why it was intriguing to me. It's all subtitled in English, right? They're all speaking Russian.
Right.
But either they had the most articulate, like amazing conversation back and forth and logic, or the people would get out with baseball bats and want to kill them. Like there was they would go, hello, I'm with Social Movement Stop a Douchebag, and you're driving on the sidewalk. And like the people they would run them over, and like guys are getting dragged on the hood. Then they would plaster these giant stickers on the windshield. But then the next one, they're having this like amazingly intelligent conversation and like articulate. Like this is the most amazing. So I must have watched hours and hours and hours of these. And I would bounce back and forth between that and like something else that was stupid.
Right.
The one thing though, the one I was telling Jared about it, I was watching, international McDonald's and 7-Eleven videos. For some reason I was intrigued by this and I wanted to.
Okay.
And it's amazing how like in Tokyo, the 7-Eleven is like a gourmet restaurant.
YouTube really knows you well.
Yeah, right. No, but I was searching for a few things and then it recommended, like I just took off on the recommended.
Yeah, they're so good at that.
But then in Kuwait after the war, they fell in love with U.S. Fast food.
Okay.
So, and it's a dry country, alcohol free. So the fast food court has become the nightclub of Kuwait. Like they were talking about, like we go to Kentucky Fried Chicken on Saturday because that's the place to be seen. I'm not kidding. And like it's like this gorgeous country, and then you see like 8 neon. It's kind of like driving in like Denver in the mountainside, and here's a rest stop, and it's like a food court of like Taco Bell and KFC and Shake Shack, and like that's like the whole country that they eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They eat fast food. Like nobody, like barely cooks at home anymore.
I feel like we should apologize for that.
Seriously, I felt awful.
Like I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
And then the doctors are like going, yeah, I got more cases of hypertension and diabetes than
Go figure.
Right.
So biggest binge watch though, did you watch Bandersnatch?
I didn't. I didn't. Gross. Not yet.
You haven't seen Bandersnatch?
No, I started watching it and I had to turn it off. Something with the kids.
It was terrible.
Get out.
No, you know what was terrible though?
No, seriously. First Shut Up Randy of the Year.
No, it was a Black Mirror movie, and I started watching it, but I didn't get through it. Something happened at home, and I had to go or something. What was terrible? They got more hype fair than anything was Bird Box. I thought that was
that I have not watched.
I thought that was the biggest piece of shit that I've ever seen in my life.
And that's a Yelp moment. Like everyone's either 1-star, 5-star with that.
I can't understand how. I would rather watch Biodome for 10 hours than have to watch that again.
See, like to me, dude, Bandersnatch was like a choose your own adventure book in movie form, and it was
cool, but the story sucked.
Too much work. So I gotta.
But it's all like about like 80s game development, and it was like that was cool.
You know what I did get through?
You're too young to get it, Randy.
Dave, you know what I did get through that you would love? The guy that put my hot water heater together was talking to me about binge series and turned me on to You. Y-O-U.
Turn you on to me?
Turned me on to You. Yeah.
Hello, big boy.
It sounds hilarious now that I think about what I just said.
Isn't that the stalker one?
Yeah. So it's written.
I saw a couple of folks post about it.
So it's written almost like an American Psycho, like tons of inner monologue. It's great. Like it was really. Yeah, it got a little slow, like the last 4 episodes, but then the last episode was like, oh my god! Like it was worth every. Yeah, it was good.
It's like my whole thing. I finished. I finally got around to watching the second new season of the X-Files, which is going to be the last season because they're not renewing it. Or actually, Gillian Anderson said, "Screw you! I'm not doing it for that amount of money anymore," which I can't blame her. I think they wrapped it up with a nice, like, neat little bow. And I love that. If you didn't watch it, the first new season was basically them trying to hit every kind of X-Files fan there was. Like they had the super cartoony monster episode, they had the UFO episode, they had the conspiracy episode, they had, like they hit like basically every theme that X-Files was known for, they hit in that first season. Season 2, episode 1 kind of annoyed me because they pulled that was all just a dream.
St. Elsewhere they went? Come on.
They kind of did. But it's a dream, but it's still, but then they redeem themselves because it's still wove into the plot line of the second new season.
Right.
And they did a great job with it. Like it's like it for as a huge X-Files fan that was like glued to his TV Friday nights, that's where I was watching that back in the day.
Right.
They did such a good job with it. I'm really happy.
Oh, no, by the way, shout out to everyone that's at CES today, the week-long Consumer Electronics Show down in Vegas, and the AVN's next door. I was looking through what's going on at CES. There's one thing that's going to change our world for the better, probably in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
If not sooner. It's called BreadBot. That's all anyone is talking about. It's basically a giant...
Is it the toaster from Archer?
No. No. It's a giant, like it's bigger than any appliance like you'd ever see. It's made for grocery stores, and it basically puts out, I believe it's 10 or 50 fresh loaves of bread every 6 minutes.
Okay.
It can go all day. You basically dump the ingredients into 3 basically portholes, and it just pumps out fresh bread. So if you think about it, if you look at there's 2 things when you go to the bakery.
I feel like Subway already does that.
Well, you're not going to eat some.
Those just are boxes of frozen bread sticks.
Right. This is actual.
Store.
It's a true story.
Whatever.
It comes out in sticks. But if you think about how you buy bread today, you either get fresh bread that doesn't last, or you buy Wonder Bread,
like a day.
or you get Wonder Bread. So imagine being able to, you're going to get in there, and if you go there at 4 p.m, you're getting morning bread, and it's not as good.
Right.
You get every 6 minutes fresh loaf of bread. I mean, I don't know, for a bread junkie, that's game changing. So the entire CES is a buzz over this stupid bread bot.
So fresh bread is the new rotisserie chicken?
Fresh bread is the new rotisserie chicken. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they churn out chicken every 6 minutes. I have no idea what you just meant, Randy, but I'm just going to smile and nod.
Dude, Costco or Meijer when the rotisserie chicken is hot.
I've never got a rotisserie chicken from a grocery store before. Am I weird?
Oh, that's the best go-to move.
That's what everyone says, and I never done it.
Yeah. It's like
Live on the edge, Bob.
Billy's shaking his head in horror right now.
I didn't even know what you're talking about, bro.
You might as well buy sushi at Meijer. What's wrong with you?
No, it's hot. It comes right out of the rotisserie. They put it in the carton, put it in the hot trays up by the register, and you get it while it's fresh and hot.
Skeptical, Dave. Skeptical.
Yeah, you have fun with that one.
Yeah, no. Honestly, the story that I love that we need to plan the trip. Like it's going to be a IT and the D funded trip.
To CES?
No, we're going to go hit the new Star Wars park at Disney. Did you see that video?
Is there like a 3-year wait to get in that hotel?
Did you see that effing video?
Yeah. Is there
oh, no, we're going.
Is there a 3-year wait?
I will pull every string, every blackmail photo that I have from back in the day to make that happen.
Of Walt?
Photos?
No, of all of them.
Did he just say he has photos of black males?
He does.
Yes,
listen, Dave.
You with a wrestling belt over your head. You're lucky that's not the one on the wall. You want to keep going,
Dave?
Listen, I had to give you a softball.
Dave, it's winter. Watch out for the black ice.
That's right.
This is just
But I got a bad feeling about this. Like it's just, like the wait on the hotel.
Dude,
I
but
see
like-
what you
but-
just did there.
You like
but
that? You
but
like
every
that? Yeah.
but every person gets their own customized adventure, and it's dude. That video looks.
Wait, it's
so,
Westworld?
It's so
No, because here's the problem. Like, here's the problem with Hollywood
It so
studios.
is.
You know how they do the Jedi school for the kids?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you had to basically
You got to be
get
there at like 6:30 in
opening
the morning
and
yeah,
run like full speed sprint to get your damn kid in there by 7 p.m. Like, that's what I'm just worried about.
So your kids ran?
Like the Avatar ride? Yeah, exactly. I ain't. But like the Avatar ride at the zoo, whatever the hell that place is called, it was like a 5-hour wait.
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a 4 or 5 hour wait, people were telling me. Fast Pass was like an hour and a half wait.
Why is it called Fast Pass then?
I don't know.
It's just faster pass.
Right.
Right.
It's not really fast pass.
Slightly faster.
Slightly
pass.
less slow pass.
Disney just upped the price of park tickets too.
Yeah, they went up like 25%.
Yeah, they were the first ones to break the $100 barrier, and they just raised them up again.
Yeah, it's just taking a family of 5 there. That's 6 actually with my mother-in-law.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that
because you got to have the babysitter built in.
that didn't help much. But she'd never been to Disney, so it's kind of like I'm thinking, yeah, it's not cheap. I thought it, maybe it would. No, it's not. There's,
But
it's got to
will
happen.
It will happen.
So 2 of the dumbest things that happened. One of them is a kind of an older story because obviously we haven't done this in a couple weeks. But the Alfonso Ribeiro story makes me laugh.
Oh my god!
If you haven't heard the story, when you play Fortnite,
because what is Alfonso Ribeiro famous for?
The Carlton dance.
The Carlton. That's
right.
it.
But he's trying to say that it's his.
Well, he says he's in the process of copywriting that dance.
But we're not talking about the Lions game. Nobody's in the process.
That's my dance.
No, but here's the thing. He admitted, is it like 5 or 6 years ago, 2 years ago, that he stole it off Courtney Cox in the Bruce Springsteen video.
Right.
And if you look at every 80s movie ever made, 16 Candles,
someone is doing that dance.
Weird Science, someone is doing that
because
dance
of Courtney Cox
right.
in Dancing
but
in the
that
Dark.
was the 80s dance. Like, that was the dumbest, stupidest.
Yeah, that and the white man overbite is
but
a thing.
What does Tom Jones have to say? So Carlin says he owns this, but they're playing It's Not Unusual. Tom Jones ain't barking his mouth.
Wouldn't NBC own it since it was his character that was doing it?
Work for hire.
Oh, yeah, radio.
Oh, you had to go and make it complicated.
It's already complicated. It's hard to copyright dance moves.
I mean, his name's not in the news anymore, so I guess he's got to get it out there some way.
Wait, doesn't that mean that Michael Jackson owns a moonwalk?
No, because he didn't walk on the moon.
Or does James Brown own that?
Buzz Aldrin does. See where I went with that?
I see.
Sorry.
So bad.
But the dumbest one that I know this is gonna be a thing in Asia, not in America. It's a human Uber. Did you see what this is?
Wait, like a piggyback?
No.
No.
It's not a piggyback ride?
It's sending a person to live your life for you.
Yes!
While they wear a screen across their face.
So they have an iPad.
That's you.
That's definitely coming to America.
So you're strapping, you're strapping an iPad to your head, and then basically you're walking around the party, and I'm sitting on my lazy boy eating Funyuns and bonbons.
Yes.
And while I'm talking to people, and you're just like enable. You're like you can't drink.
I am. I'm gonna start, dude. I'm just gonna strap an iPad to my forehead with a photo of Billy on it and just start showing up.
Wait, so that means I could go to the
At
party
Milo.
and play video games and watch Westworld while somebody else is at the party.
Well, someone else is at the party.
Yeah.
Right.
I like it.
It's the most insane. And you know it's going to be a thing. You absolutely know it's going to be a thing.
Oh, it's going to happen. Well, and it was like Big Bang Theory had an episode of that 4 or 5 years ago with a bot that had an iPad screen that was Sheldon.
But why
going to
wouldn't you
event.
just wear the goggles? Like the 360-degree goggles versus
Well,
an iPad?
you might, but the person that's actually taking your place.
Oh, they're wearing an iPad on their face.
Yeah, so that it looks like you.
Oh,
and you're there.
I get it now.
Well, thanks for I'm so glad the digital media guy finally caught on to the digital media thing. That's so sweet.
Oh my god!
No, it's not a picture. Isn't it a video of your face where you can actually talk and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like AR where
I
it's
was
just
so confused.
Yeah.
Is it like the AR where it looks like you? It isn't like a picture of Bob eating Funyuns at the party?
It
It's
can
like,
be a live stream of you.
Yeah.
But if it's a live stream of Bob eating
I want
Funyuns,
Which I think would be even better.
It would be even better, but I think you'd like the option of like AR Billy or AR Bob, where it's like a more
like the
refined
Wemo version
Yes.
of Bob.
Yeah, but does the AR version of Bob wear a PBR jacket? Right?
I
Does
feel
it
like
have
that
to
could be
complete?
programmed in.
I can make
Right?
you like if you're gonna be my suitor or whatever the word is called for the person that carries you.
I feel like suitor is not the word.
No, that's not the word.
That word is not what you think
Well,
it
that
means.
goes back to that conversation about
About you being into me.
But like can't you give them your jacket if you're known for wearing a jacket?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
you give
here's
them-
how you need to be me.
What's
Right.
your human Uber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're Huber.
I don't know. I can't even.
The one though, the crazy one. Speaking of the Netflix series You of stalking, the craziest thing I've ever heard, and you've had, I haven't really had crazy like texts because I have been dating the same girl for 22 years. But
This was nuts.
Yeah, exactly. This guy went on one.
Wait, dang.
This guy went on. It's in Phoenix. Basically, they went on one date.
It's a site for, he went on a site
for millionaires
and they verify your background and your bank
Right.
account and all that shit. So he verified himself as a millionaire plus and went on a date with this chick, went on one date and was like, meh. Okay, well, she didn't deal with meh very well because
she sent 159,000 text messages over the course 159,000 over the course of 10
Picks up phone,
months.
starts Google,
starts doing the math.
remember the burner app, Billy? Remember?
But it's not like, but it's like she's like,
oh no, and she's like, she's going to make sushi out of his, like, because he wasn't
Kidneys.
responding,
right?
So she starts sending a message about how she's going to make sushi out of his kidneys and chopsticks out of his finger bones. The cops got called multiple times. At one point in time, he's out of the country doing something, checks his security cams. She's taking a bath in his house. He has no idea how she got in. And here's the best part. When the cops show up, she's like, yeah, I guess I just invented this whole thing in my head where we were dating and this was my house and so I'm here. And she had a butcher knife
in the car
on her front seat.
One of the texts was, I'm going to wear your face. I'll wear your face and the top of your skull in your hands and feet, which none of it made sense. And then she's like, lol, 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 blah, 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 money, money, money. Like,
isn't that something like 500 messages a day?
I don't know. I
don't know what that math is, but Jesus tap dancing Christ.
It's basically what, 300 divided by 159,000 divided by 300. Whatever the hell that
Well, that would
math
be a
is.
year, yeah.
Or 10 months.
it was
10 months is
insane.
300 days.
Absolutely insane.
Like, do they lock her up? What happens when he gets out? Like, dude, think about how many quarters to keep that chick away from
Dude,
Are you kidding me?
Boiling Bunnies, film at 11. Holy crap. Which again, dude, dating in today's world, man.
Well, it makes the crap that the guy did on you like child's play compared to this crap. No, because he went through all these, he's basically pre-stalked this girl to make sure that she was okay to date.
Oh, yeah.
And tried to justify in his mind what he was doing was, you know what I mean? So it was from his point of view type of, it's still creepo. But
Mother of God.
Seriously, though. What else is going on?
I don't know. Go to a break?
Yeah, we might as well. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Jer and Billy. This is the IT and the D show.
We'll be right back.
Oh.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back. Happy New Year. First episode of 2019. This is episode 279 of the one and only IT in the D show, broadcasting live here in Studio One in Podcast Detroit. Beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Bob the sales guy hanging out with Dave the geek. Nuri, the FNG, is sleeping because he's been flying for 24 hours. Spent New Year's in Thailand, which is kind of
one night in Bangkok.
Yeah. We've covered that already. Randy, I do the Twitters, is in studio. Find us online, itinthed.com. You want to know why? Because it's 2019 and we are still IT in the D.
That's right. 6 years later, you're still not.
And we love you every day more and more. It just grows. Muy, 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 muy. But yeah, hanging out with us. We figured we'd start the year off right, and we brought basically the crew in. Jeremiah's in the house. He runs dailydetroit.com and the Daily Detroit podcast. Billy Straughter's in the house. He'll probably be texting this whole time because he doesn't look up from his phone ever.
He's gotten the number of that girl the millionaire didn't want.
Oh, is that what he's been looking up this whole time?
Yeah, not true, Jen.
Billy is digital runs a digital agency.
CEO?
You're the C something. But yeah, you've been doing that for a while, and you're killing it every day. We talk to you, you do better and better
every day.
But all day, every day. How was you guys have a good New Year?
I don't recall.
I know you don't. Well, if you don't remember, you were with me all night.
Oh, that sounds like a lovely evening.
Video.
Yeah, there's one video clip. There's a few pictures. We forced ourselves.
But at least the two of you didn't have your New Year's at Beacon Park.
You're
with the sad balloon drop is
the
sad.
saddest balloon drop in Detroit history happened.
Wait, did they all float up?
No.
Like they released the net and the balloon, like the net, and all the balloons just dropped down on people's heads. Like they didn't plan
So
for
good.
space accordingly,
Right.
And so there's only like 3 feet between the balloons and people's heads. So when they released when they cut the net of balloons just fell down on people's heads.
That's funny.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly.
I think is hilarious is the stories that keep coming out, and apparently it's been a tradition in Detroit for as long as Detroit's been around to fire your gun in the air at midnight. And apparently, people don't
Bells
realize
not bullets, man.
But yeah, Angel's Night. But apparently, if you don't realize that they actually rains down bullets,
Yeah,
so
they come back down.
right. There's
That thing called gravity.
Right, there's roofs like that have bullets like embedded in the roof, it's no joke. They're everywhere. Like I guess a kid got hit. Yeah, it's nuts. Is that just going to go to the end of time?
I hope not.
Yes,
but Billy's right. But I hope not.
But Billy said it.
But Billy said it. Billy said it, not me. But I want it to change. I don't feel like it will anytime soon. One thing that was really crazy, when I used to live in Lafayette Park, I was about 25 stories up, and what's weird about that is that sound travels way more in height than it does in like horizontally. So if you're 25 stories up, you're going to hear way more stuff, like 10 times more things.
I
So
did not
imagine
know
these
that.
nights and you just hear it everywhere. And then since I was so high up, I could just see like the flashes in the distance. It was crazy.
So high.
And then I got high. But I hope it's a tradition that we can change. I think there needs to be some real push on that. Angels Night was a successful program by the city that now doesn't need to exist, which is a great thing because the fires went down so much. In fact, they are less than they are on a normal night, which is great. And that shows that if you make a concerted effort over time, because I mean, I remember doing Angels Night 15 years ago. If you do a concerted effort, things can change. But I think maybe it's time for another concerted effort like we did with Angels Night.
Well, isn't it? I mean, for unlawful discharge of a weapon, that's not a small charge. I don't know the legality, but like you, it's not like you get out with a ticket. You know what I mean? Like that's some serious crap. Am I wrong?
Oh, we talked about that guy in my neighborhood that's like got serious problems right now.
Right.
But something might be illegal, but if everybody does it, it's
At
hard.
once.
Right. Everyone does it at once. It's hard to deal with. So what do you do to, what do you do to influence the culture of that group to make it so that those folks don't do that
Start
anymore?
busting people by the dozens.
Did you just say those people?
I did.
The people that shoot the guns, Dave.
The people that shoot the guns, Dave. I have no sympathy for someone who's going to put children's lives in danger.
No, and that's real.
But no, if you start bringing buses in and cause, I mean, don't they have sensors right now where they know where a gunshot's happening? Like the police, like
they've been rolling those out, like the shot spot sensors.
Yeah.
They're controversial, but they have been rolling out where you can kind of triangulate them, kind of using.
Why are they controversial?
Well, a lot of people feel
because they're listening devices that are always on
that listen for gunshots.
But you can also.
But if they're how do you know they're only listening for gunshots? Because they have to be listening for everything in order to listen for gunshots.
Well, and that's part of the concern with the Project Greenlight program, right? That people have is that
sort of like how does Google or like the Alexa know when I say OK Google or Hello Google or Alexa if they're not listening.
Well,
all
and
the
we
time.
proved that they were listening a while ago with the Fat Bottom Girls.
Yep.
Fat Bottom Girls?
Well, yeah, because Nuri.
Oh yeah, Nuri like downloaded his history one night, and it was like literally just it's Jess just screaming, "Okay, Google, play Fat Bottom Girls" over and over and over again.
Oh my God! So my phone just went off from Jer saying,
I said, "Okay, Google."
If they're not listening, then it's a search on the bottom. Search Google. Are you spying on me? Dude. Yeah, and the search bar on the bottom, and then the microphone. So my OK Google popped up from what Jared just said.
Oh,
that's creepy, man.
That is creepy.
I don't like it.
Well, that's why you got to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this wraps up episode 279.
Welcome to the IT and the D podcast, where if you play it for your smart devices, we will incriminate you in all 50 states.
Right. Well, it couldn't be like the parrot that's ordering stuff on Alexa. My kid showed me.
We talked about that where there was what was it, 4 or 5 months ago? There was the story where the daughter ordered things from the Alexa. She ordered a dollhouse from Alexa, and they played the story on the news, and the news had the capture of Alexa, order me a dollhouse. And like a bajillion, Bob, please don't order a dollhouse. And it was, and like thousands of people that saw that news broadcast, their Alexa ordered them a dollhouse.
The crazy, they're putting Alexa technology into everything.
They just have a partnership with some auto people.
I think it's Ford.
The number one
Ford?
use of our Alexa skill is by people in cars.
Yeah.
For sure. And I mean, and then there's Darshan. Shout out Darshan. But the Alexa is just permeating into everything, or Google. It's going to be like a battle of the titans.
But what about
between
Siri?
Two of them. I mean, no third parties use Siri, right? So it's that whole when Windows became really popular, in part it was because everybody could build a Windows machine, right? And you can incorporate Alexa or Google into a lot of different things, whereas Siri, you got to be Apple.
It's a walled garden.
So, I mean, Jared, taking a huge step back, and we really haven't talked about it much. I mean, you've absolutely been killing. I'm just going to throw it out. You've been killing it with Daily Detroit lately.
Thank you.
I appreciate you not going clickbait and writing crappy political stuff. And number 6 will blow your mind. And
unless it's hamburgers.
Unless it's burgers.
I will always write about hamburgers.
Which is fine, or tacos, which is completely fine.
Right.
But you always have to leave the best one out so everybody bitches and it gets out fake outrage on no, I'm just kidding. But you're not doing that, and then you're putting out
Imperial's tacos aren't that good.
They're not.
No, my gosh,
they
the fight
suck.
on our Facebook page was insane over
I'm
that.
pretty sure I broke a molar eating an Imperial taco.
Ooh.
We had that talk.
But on top of that, I mean, putting out a daily podcast. I mean, we do a weekly one. And I can't imagine
we barely keep up.
And right, I can't imagine what you have to go through to get good content out and get it out.
You give up sleep and friends.
Yeah.
But
so it's the same as a weekly.
Yeah, just amplified, right? You just get a lot less sleep. But we've been really fortunate. The response to the show has been great, and there's been so many great guests that have come through. It's gotten a lot easier.
Remember when you thought podcasts were stupid?
We all thought podcasts were stupid at one point. The Onion still thinks podcasts are stupid. Remember, there's 250 million podcasters looking for a guest.
Waiting for a guest.
Dave,
right now, yeah.
Don't you remember we never listened to one before we started ours? We're right there too.
Yep.
Because if we thought they were great, we would have.
So we can be hipsters.
I did it first.
We can drink our PBR and
I'll
pretend to be cool.
You know what? Next episode I'm on, I'll make you all pour over coffee.
Boo. Boo.
But the thing is, and this is what I realized about podcasting, with the way that the media world has changed so much, and I'm sure, Billy, if you want to chime in on this, the way the media world's changed so much over the last few years, text on the web just isn't what it used to be. Being the newspaper on the web, people's attention spans have changed.
Oh, it used
how
to be
people
all about,
consume
it was
things.
all about the SEO.
Right.
All about the SEO with your website.
We're on our way to the 6-second podcast. The attention span's too low.
Dude, and that kills me.
Right? Yeah, but the idea, I mean, Jerry, you're right, though. But at what point do we go, okay, this is just getting out of hand? Because, we hear when we talk about social or digital, all right, so text is no longer a thing because people don't have the time to read. All right, so video
No, it's
is
not that
the
they
thing.
don't have the time.
They choose not to.
Yes.
Correct.
Right? So then it's, all right, so I want to hear it. Give me audio so I can do two things at once. But am I effectively doing two things at once? Probably not.
I'm paying more attention to the podcasts I'm listening to than the freeway I'm driving on.
Exactly.
Well, and
dude, 696 is open again.
Yes.
Hooray!
Yay! So pour one out for Mommy.
You're supposed to.
Well, and that comes down to, I think that goes to the power of storytelling. One of the reasons we started what we did was to tell stories, not just like, go for the clickbait. And podcasts allow that because you are doing multiple things at once. But you're right. I have that concern that 5 or 10 years down the line, that's going to be the next thing. And it's like, well, our attention spans are getting so short, and it's hurting our discourse. It's hurting our relationships with our families. It's hurting a lot of things. And I think it's important that we follow,
I
we keep the main thing the main
yesterday
thing.
teaching my kids how to bake.
That's
It's true.
That's not real.
It's true because I was here fixing problems.
He was. And I was like, thanks for handling that, man. I'm baking a cake right now.
Hey, when are they
from
for
scratch.
sale?
No, dude, just me and my daughter and my son taught them how to bake, and then we cooked dinner.
And then he opened Baking Detroit.
It's in Ferndale.
Right.
Right. I was like, how much do they cost?
Artisanal cakes.
They're artisanal cakes.
But we've seen, when we look at all of the trends, I mean, we've seen it over the years. I mean, we've known each other for a long time, but it's everything. It's content is king. Okay, what does that mean? Right.
Right.
And
then people
our
put up a
attention
bunch
spans-
of junk content and they think it's great.
Right.
Ooh,
Let's write an article about an article about an article to where we don't know where the original source came from. But,
It sounds like douche line.
I want that. I bet you guys own the domain. Bob, you bought that
You know
domain.
what?
didn't
Absolutely
you?
do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah.
So you guys, here comes the question. Everything's shortening up. What's next? Is it going to be just like the news articles are going to be like 6-word hashtag?
Ow, my balls.
But see,
That's
Right.
what's coming.
Yeah, I know, right.
What's weird about this, though, is that if we think about the history of humans, we weren't designed to have like 3,000 faces in our face every day with, these feeds and everything else like that.
Well, that's what I was listening. I've been, listening to Rogan a lot or watching Rogan through YouTube. And it's funny. He goes like, that's wrong with the kids right now. Is like, they're opening up their phones and they don't even know what they're looking for. They're just scrolling. Like, it's not like you're going there with
Just
a
to
mind
keep
like,
busy.
hey, I want to read something about like ancient Egypt. I'm just going through Snapchat and looking at random. And that's what, like, nobody's, like, the focus is gone.
Well, then how do you stand out in that world, though?
Well, it goes back to the fundamentals. And you said, when you're talking about humans, right? If you think about the way in which we do marketing today, there are a lot of people that will just say, okay, right, I can run a banner ad. Digital is the answer. But maybe that's not true. It could be
Because it's not 1999.
right. It's not 1999, right? So, really,
That was 20 years ago, by the way.
People. It's about people. The things that motivate us, the things that we want out of life have not changed. It's the type of stuff that we want, but people want to be loved. They want to feel like they're important. So it's speaking to the individual in a way that technology allows us to customize that now.
But it's funny, you're talking about wanting to get to the people and everything's moving away from the people.
Yes.
Like you look at what Little Caesars is doing with this like vault. Like you don't even have to talk to anyone anymore. You just walk into Little Caesars and you pick up Vault 3 as
right.
your food and you get the hell out and it's already paid for.
And maybe that's just me being, turning into my dad where I'm like, back in my day, people used to have meetings face to face, but this idea of, even at Milo, we've tried this idea of doing, remote working, which is great, but there's time where you just need to be face to face and you just get so much more done when everybody's sitting there in a room.
Well, it's like we've got a, I don't know if you want to call it a partnership, a satellite operation, whatever that's happening down in Dallas. And like they're coming in town finally, in 2 weeks. And I think like we're going to have a great, like I'm sure it's going to be a bender of a couple nights.
Right.
But
that solidified
you need
something,
that, you
right?
need that in person.
It creates that human connection.
Bob's met one of them, but not the other.
Oh, I've met him. I met him many times.
Okay. Well, you met, I know you met one, but
I worked with C at HP, but I've met Aaron probably 5 times
I
since.
have not met either of them.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that winds up having to do all the shit. So like, it'll be nice for me to have like that
human connection.
A mentor of mine, was asked once, how is it that your company that is 5 times smaller than your competition gets these contracts? It's because I get on the plane. It comes down to that. I get on the plane and I go meet the people. And when they need me, I get on the plane.
You were on a plane?
Last time I was on a plane, a year ago. But like, for me, I'm not saying for me personally, but for them, it was, how do they succeed? They get on the plane. If something happens, they go meet him. They don't.
You go.
Right. Obviously, there is an extreme importance for telepresence and all that other stuff. But when you want to get things done,
you
gotta,
need to touch.
You need to touch. You need to be there.
But the thing, like, this is an interesting thing. I just went through probably the best, I hate sales trainings because they're awful, but this one was the first one I went to in my life that was amazing. And basically they taught on reading. If you're good at this, if you're natural with this, it's normal. A lot of people aren't. That there's 4 types of people, right? There's the guy that wants to talk about the fishing this last weekend. There's the person that says 15 minutes, tell me what you need, like direct and get the hell out. And then there's 2 that are kind of in between. I forget all 4 boxes. But there's a way.
Effective sales training.
But yeah.
So it really stuck with him. You could
He
tell.
remembers half the information.
It was his favorite sales training ever, but he can't remember anything.
We love you, Bob.
I have notes. It's natural for me. No, but there's it's one thing getting face to face. It's another thing if Jared walks into a room with a driver that wants to be out in a half an hour with details and facts, and he's talking about fishing.
Right.
Right. So
you
have
to be able to read a room.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. You have to be able to read a room.
It's like being a bartender.
Yes.
No. Okay. Does that person at the end of the bar that says they want to be left alone, do they really?
Right.
And yeah, it's learning how to read people and doing that life.
But you know, Jerry, you guys recently launched, you redesigned Daily Detroit, right?
Top to bottom.
Right. Top to bottom. But at some point you did that because you saw a trend. And what was that?
The trend is that people wanted direct connections with the people telling them the stories about Detroit. And what we needed to get out of the way was all of the annoying advertisements that didn't add value. Because ads that make sense are great. Ads that add value and are better for people's lives are great. But we're a site about Detroit, and we kept getting all these things through various programmatic advertising and things like that, where it was like Trump or Hillary. It doesn't matter which. It depends if your browsing history was conservative or Democrat, right? But it would be the same ad, but it would just be flipped text in a flipped picture.
You mean the Amazon ads of the product that I just bought yesterday isn't good?
Right. And it doesn't create people are looking for connections, and local media has been in a tailspin the last 10 years. And what they've lost.
Because none of them are local anymore.
Bingo. And so that is the trend that we seized on, and we've been able to, through a variety of advertisers and supporters, been able to make
Milo.
Yes. Thank you very much. Been able to make that happen. And when we go out, we tell people, hey, you're not competing your thing with all these other like banner ads or whatever. You know what? We're going to talk about your product. We are going to be glad and be proud to wear that product and use it because we've used it. We've worked with it. We've done something with it. And then that's an authenticity that I think is lacking. I think, a lot of old school journalists, and I get it, like complete 100% of this, like there must be a walled garden and I I will give you tablets of news from on high, but that isn't how people want to be related to anymore. That voice from above, they want authority, but they need authenticity too. They need to know where you're coming from.
But that leads to a whole nother set of problems,
like
right?
really,
it always does.
Dude, I'm not gonna, I think back to like the Walter Cronkite era.
Right.
Where like that was your,
where you could drink bourbon in the middle of the day.
Yes. But also like that was the guy that like you knew shit was fact checked, double checked, and triple checked.
Because you had a connection with him.
And he was the voice.
For sure.
And you trusted that voice.
For sure.
And I think that's what news and media are missing these days.
It's exactly
because it's the rush to first, like every internet forum on the planet.
And you also knew Cronkite, when it went to commercial break, was firing up a cigarette like immediately.
I mean, the old days, he just lit up on the air.
Right.
He did.
That's true.
Speaking of which,
Stay
let's
classy,
all
San Diego.
Speaking of which, let's all sign the petition to have Barbara Walters host the ball drop this year, because it's got to be, I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020.
I saw that meme and I laughed, and then the second time I saw it, I didn't laugh because I want to do it.
Oh, no, I'm still laughing. I want it to happen.
How do you not have that happen?
Yeah, you have to. Somebody has to make that happen.
Well, Jared, all right. So the consumer ultimately ends up losing, though, because there was a point where people got paid to do this, and they were paid well, right?
Right.
I wouldn't say local journalists were always paid well, but
they were paid enough to live. They could live.
It was good
Before
enough
we
to live.
start into the decline of local media,
Yeah.
do we want to take it's like we're at the right point
No,
where
no.
we can take a break?
Keep going.
Okay.
Here, let me. When's the last time we had an investigative journalist in this town? Is LaDuff the last one?
I would argue to say that he may be.
Yeah.
But
you look at Charlie Langdon and stuff. They do like those exposés.
legal
of
Well,
stuff.
I like Charlie, and I listen to Charlie
I do too.
on WWJ. But the other thing about Charlie, so here's the question from an editorial point of view, and I get why they do it. A lot of times in the morning, I listen to Charlie, and I'm like, Charlie is in another place in Detroit where something that sucks happened. But is that investigative journalism, or is that telling you something that sucked happened? Those are two different things, right? So he'll be like, well, I'm out at this shooting or something like that. That's something that can be picked up off of a scanner or whatever, and I get it. That's
But
just
it's not like
it works.
someone's blowing a Watergate.
What would
Exactly.
happen?
That's
What would
not
happen
investigative
though?
work.
What would happen to 247 News at 5:00 if it didn't, if they didn't cover murders anymore? Like, would they?
If it
Or they
bleeds,
cover-
it leads.
Right, but I'm just saying, as far as the ratings go, I mean, it can't dip any farther. Nobody's watching the news.
Well, the demographics are very much in the senior area that are watching the news. You know, young people are turning off television news, and that's frankly where we're succeeding.
Right.
And it's
There's been
because
an increase in the so the sad thing, while good for Facebook, has been steady increase in the number of people who say that they get their news first from social media.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Twitter, whatever.
Right. And so you look at that and you go, well, I know looking at my own personal news feed that people don't fact check the stuff that they end up sharing. And
I mean,
I'm not even
what's
sure
your
that they're reading the article.
What's
They're
your
reading
routine in the
headline.
morning? Mine is usually Twitter trends, Reddit, which is I don't even know why I bother
Yeah.
anymore. And then I hit a couple liberal sites and a couple conservative sites.
Yeah, no, I get there's an email that I get every morning that goes through, gives me the headlines
Yeah.
for the day. And the reason why I ended up going with this email is because I felt like I couldn't trust what I was getting from my social networks because of all the way that the algorithms work.
Right.
It's an echo chamber.
Yeah,
So all of the things that I was seeing were things like, yeah, of course I agree with that, but I wasn't seeing a point of view that differed from mine.
Right.
you were seeing what your friends wanted to share,
Right.
and that's what the algorithm does. One of the reasons we chose to go, we de-emphasize the website from that everything goes there first because we wanted the newsletter and the podcast to be the reset. We are the reset point where it's like, this is what happened. This is what you need to know. Because if you are a busy person, if you are somebody who's got a lot of things going on, which is everybody, right? You got kids, you got work, you got whatever. You can go in 15, 20 minutes a day and you can be caught up on what's happening in Metro Detroit and what matters. And that means that we don't run those stories about if it bleeds, it leads, because yes, it matters, but it matters in the context of let's have Chief Craig on and talk about the trends. Or it matters and let's talk about what's actually happening behind the scenes with the Washington Post reporter and why those detective cases or why those murder cases aren't getting solved, which is what we did. We had a Washington Post reporter on to talk about the overworked police department. That is something that actually adds value to your day. And the other thing, and this is something that I learned when I worked at WDIV, and it's not to besmirch them, it's just the local news model, is that so many times you would have a story where you would cover it bleeds, it leads, but then there would be a lot of objectification in it because, okay, well, what happened afterward? Nobody cares what happened afterward. It would be just, frankly, to be honest, like, okay, another black guy shot somebody in Detroit. Let's go ahead and run that so that people watch the news and clickety-click it. Like, that doesn't work. That isn't something that actually moves things forward. It objectifies minority groups. It does all kinds of things. It doesn't actually help us push the conversation forward.
But is that any different from like all the studies that have come out that says, okay, like 75, 80% of people don't read beyond the headline. and says, if the headline agrees with what my thoughts and opinions are, I'm sharing it.
Sure. But the podcast consumer, as you know, is somebody who's more involved. Here's the deal. I can't be
far more engaged. Absolutely.
And I can't be for everyone, because if you're for everyone, you're for no one.
Yep.
So if you care about Detroit and if you care about our region, and
Do we
if
have
you
a bell for cliches?
I've got them all. Hold on. I'll bell myself.
There. Thank you.
I have no bell.
We've taken Dave's bell away. No, let's keep that for Billy. Oh, Randy. Randy gave Dave the bell, everybody.
I mean, Billy asked for one, and there's one right within arm's reach, so.
That's true.
It's just too much work.
Is he eating Funyuns? No, I don't see Funyuns.
No.
But it's that idea that you can't, you've got to really serve the people who are in your lane. And if you try to be everything to everyone, that just doesn't work. And I think what a lot of sites are trying to do in that chase for clickety clicks, because the ad rates are going down and down and down for banner ads online, that the work gets less and less.
All right, we're going to do a drinking game every time he says clickety click. I'm sorry. I just get these things in my mouth, which sounds really awkward.
You don't need to straighten your teeth out during the show. You can take a break.
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to take them off. I just got them this morning. I just got Invisalign. So it's, yeah.
That's why he sounds like he just sniffed glue all day.
It's, guys, but something that, I wanted to talk about is, every once in a while, Facebook will remind me, it'll do this thing of like, you have a history with Bob and Dave. And, every time I look back, it's usually something related to the podcast when we were down in that building down in Detroit. We used to go and
the Russell.
Yeah, the Russell. Right. But thinking back to when you guys were like, you invited me on for the first time, and you're like, hey, so we're doing this thing. We want you to be on. And I'm like, well, what am I going to talk about? You're like, we don't know. Nothing. But
I mean, that's accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate. But to see what you guys have been able to build, because it's been a very long time since I've been on the show.
It's been a very long time since you abandoned your own show.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Well, there's that. But, this idea that you guys were on the forefront of something that you see people just trying to copy what you have built. And
that's true.
There's something about
it makes me laugh.
Your authenticity.
Dude, and that's,
right? And that's something that people cannot duplicate.
No, here's what makes me laugh. And we've had this talk a bajillion times. Like, there are so many people that have seen what we've done and what we've built with Podcast Detroit. I mean, granted, on the back of IT and the D, but with Podcast Detroit, that are like, oh, shit, I can do that. But here's reality 101. Every single one of them is doing it as an ego play.
Right.
And the problem with an ego play is that if there's no immediate ROI, your ego gets bored.
That's right.
And you will walk away. And then
we did it as a necessity.
We did it because people begged us.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, hey, this is something that we need. We need something. So to button this up nicely, to bring it back to this idea of what we were talking about with marketing and the future of what we are trying to do, is what made you successful was that there was a need that people asked for.
We got pulled.
You got pulled into it. But what made you successful was that authenticity, the ability to connect with people. And if you can do that as a brand, as, Daily Detroit, as IT and the D, it doesn't matter what the product is, but are you able to speak to the individual for their wants, their needs?
Right.
Right. It's sales 101, Bob. Right. And so often, so many times we get away from that. We're like, oh, what's the latest thing that we can do, that some sort of gimmick that we can use to make, to try to go viral?
Let's go top trends in 2019. Right? Google that.
Right. Right. And so
I'd like to buzz sumo your Hootsuite.
It's not that it's the work that we do is really not that difficult. It's really just talking to people.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, it's not rocket science to do it right. Like, Bob and I have this whole thing going on where, like, every talk we've ever done about podcasting, comes back to like it always opens the same way. You don't need us.
No.
That's one of the things I really like about the network, and it's really fun to work with, is that you have a focus on doing it the way that resonates with people, and it's not about, well, you have to be into this plan and you must pay this many thousands of dollars a month and this and that, and
no, dude, it's no, like that, like you don't need us, and like you can't. That's the beauty of this format, dude. You want to go out and buy a mic for $30 that's a USB mic and record in Audacity and do it in your living room? Go do. The important part is go do. When you're ready,
just get started.
Well, not when you're ready. Like our biggest growth over we just did a free podcast day on Saturday, and it was ridiculous here. And when you're ready for either one, it to sound better, or two, for guests to show up and they're not in your living room, give us a call. We're here for you.
I do like people in my living room.
Like that's what we do. I almost made a Calvin joke, and I refrained.
This is wrong.
But no, I mean that's the thing. I mean, it's we've tried very, very hard to be us all the way through this. Like if I had $1 for every time we got told we were too cheap.
But it shows
we wouldn't charge.
In the beginning, you said we were too expensive, and I kept arguing with you.
Because we're still twice as expensive as the other.
They don't do.
But the
that's
folks
like saying Shake Shack and McDonald's, man. It's not it's not the same burger.
I know, but
they're so good. Oh my gosh,
Shake Shack. And McDonald's.
Agreed. Yeah.
I saw a list of the top 8 fast food burgers, and they ranked like Wendy's number 1. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I had no idea that Shake Shack started out as a food truck.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
I just saw. I just saw that. It kind of glossed over it, but yeah.
Right. But I was like, but it all makes sense when you think about the way in which you get your burger. You go up and you order.
And now there's a Shake Shack in Kuwait. I mean, think about that.
No,
it was a food truck. Now it's
you've built something because you've stayed true to who you are. And when you think about that, it was a food truck. Look at how you order when you go to Shake Shack. Feels very much like you're ordering from a food truck.
I never thought about it, but yeah, that makes total sense. It really does.
I haven't been there yet.
What?
Yeah, you need to go.
We've been curating a list on our Daily Detroit Slack channel of all the places Randy hasn't been yet. So I think we're just going to take Randy around town on a day. We're going to have like a Randy day. We're going to bring a recorder. It'll be like a day out with Randy. It'll be great.
Just call it Shut Up, Randy.
It's a Randy day.
It's a Randy day.
Yeah. So, there's something that I do want to just point out. I want to call Bob out on. He has a knack for somehow having video of me. Bob, do you
I did not take. I did not take that video. Aaron did. Billy did a dance on. He tried to teach us a dance on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
At the MGM Casino in the middle of the floor, and
I'm sorry. Was it a black guys help the white guys moment?
Yes.
No, it was like, you never heard of this dance, and he starts doing it, and like someone had the phone out and got it. Because I didn't have the wherewithal at the time. It was like 1:45.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
you were already done by then.
We were well done. Well done.
Hey, but just to wrap things up, I appreciate you guys coming out.
Well, I guess let's talk. Like, what's coming up in 2019? Like, what's the new? What are you doing? What should people keep an eye on Daily Detroit and Milo for in 2019?
You first, bro.
For the unexpected question.
Like I don't know.
Well, there are a lot of exciting things happening. One of them that I will release as the first shoot will be on Thursday, and this goes in the podcast feed, usually Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yep.
We will be starting to do segments for public television. So myself, Sven, the whole Daily Detroit little team.
On Daily Detroit, we'll be talking about.
We will not be talking about we will not be talking about moist muffins.
Sweaty balls.
Oh my god.
And sweaty balls. Welcome to Detroit's greatest selection of sweaty balls in Eastern Market.
Sven's sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
No. You're just too much excitement.
It's audio.
Today we're going to be talking about sweaty balls.
No, it's going to be Audio Antiques Roadhouse all day, every day.
Yeah.
But that's going to be.
I got this picture. I'll give you it's worth $1,000. Sweet. And that's it. The end.
I can give you about $350.
Yeah, exactly. Best I can do is $10.
And the first segment we're actually shooting on Thursday will be with a new local automaker,
which we talked about on the show.
On the show. So that's really exciting to see the show go into a new format and really, I mean, to use yet another cliche, like just add value and be like true to our brand. That's perfect setup for branding people.
That's right. Yeah. So, Milo, well, you guys remember, it's been, we're officially 2 years old. We've grown from 5 to 17 people.
17 people,
Yeah, like big ups for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
Like you're an asshole. I love you, but like you've built a thing.
I apparently.
I mean, you were taking pictures of cans of Bud Light at a bar. That's how you
At
started.
Tipsy McStagger.
Right.
That's
Look, guys, we if anything, this idea of how do you build something, and it's really just get started, because you guys
Just go
you've
do.
known
Yeah,
me
do it.
forever, and
Yeah.
you know that my very first client was Tipsy McStaggers. They paid me $500 a month, and I now have 17 employees, right? And doing digital.
and you said bye, Felicia.
Yes. Yes, I did officially say bye, Felicia. That actually happened. So it's this idea though, and you can tell I'm really uncomfortable with this.
Dude, you're like
leadership
us.
role,
You
right?
hate like when you get put on
Right.
the spot to talk about you.
Yes.
It's friggin' like
Right.
talk about clients all day
Yes,
long.
I
But
will
yeah.
talk about clients and talk about digital all day long, but you want to talk about me? I'm like, no, because this is not. It's what I tell people when they're like, "How do I get to where you are? How do I do that and build that?" And I'm like, I never intended to build an agency.
So
I simply wanted to do cool.
I don't
shit,
think you've been,
right?
you have not been on since we did our TEDx talk.
Yeah.
And I think the best part of that story is as we're giving our talk about the accidental entrepreneur.
Yes.
We get off stage and we ran so long. And like you immediately, like you pulled me off to the side. You're like, you've got to see these chats in the back room for all
Yes.
the admin folks. and it's like, they're still talking.
Yes.
Oh my God, they're still talking.
Yes.
Does anyone know how to shut them up? Billy, do you know how to shut them up?
Yes, I do know. But I always get
They're
in trouble
never
every
going to
time-
stop.
Yes, no.
Because you know
Right.
not to shush
Not
Bob.
to shush
Do
Bob.
not. No, I watched the TEDx again. It's a story of Dave interrupting me every time I would start something, then me interrupting Dave to tell
my
a
God,
story.
it was so much-
Because I had to. Because again, the backstory there was before we went on stage. You said, "I can't look at the clock. If I look at the clock, it's going to screw me up." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool."
And I would start talking.
But
So let's be clear.
But then you have to follow my cues. And you're like, "Oh yeah, I'll totally follow
Yeah,
your
he
cues."
ignored your cues.
But
So let's be clear.
bottom line, people loved that
They
talk.
did. They loved
that
that
talk was electric in that room. That talk was, I would say, and one of the top talks of the entire
I mean, we had
day.
half the crowd over at Temple Bar beforehand. So
It was the anti-TED talk.
What was it? But
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
That was us. And the guys that put, like Charlie, they all knew that that's what we do.
Yeah.
That we weren't going to be up there and inspire anyone.
I'll button it up. I'll finish it up for you, right? Because the thing that we're trying to do this year is I just want to I want to build something that doesn't require me, right? I want it to be about the people that work there, and I want to go find something else.
I would love that,
right? But the hardest thing for me in 2018. In 2017, it was all about the struggle of just trying to stay alive,
right?
Just trying to maintain and make payroll. 2018 was growth. We tripled in size, but then it was really looking at leadership, like myself as a leader, and what does that look like? Founders don't always make great CEOs, and we struggle to recognize that we're not always equipped to run our own company.
Right.
And so I was really, I went out and I found a chief operating officer, and that has made all the difference in the world because it's allowed me to focus on the business and doing what I'm really good at, which is relationship building, but not running something day to day.
He didn't mean that.
I know. I mean,
it's kind of accurate.
But, it's accurate.
Because
but-
I aspire to that.
But everybody should. I mean, you have to look at yourself and go, am I the right person to lead this to the next level? Right? And it's a hard thing for a founder because this is your baby. This is something that.
Did you ever see the story of Funko? The dolls.
Yeah.
Basically, the guy got it to a point. They started off doing big boy dolls. It's an amazing documentary, and he basically turned the reins over to another guy. Then he brought him back a couple years later to lead the clothing division.
Then there's the flip side. There's the founder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the McDonald's story. What the hell are you talking about? And
that's the dark side.
Right.
That's the dark side.
You bring somebody in, and then you're screwed. And
right.
But the truth is, if you look at that story, right? So someone like. There were, we'd have conversations about the movie, and the feedback that I got from most people were like, "That's a horrible thing," and I'm like, "Not at all," because the problem is McDonald's never would have been McDonald's without someone with vision.
Yeah, and Michael Keaton had vision.
Nothing.
He had vision, but no morals or integrity.
No.
And he screwed the original owners. Like that's the.
But those guys would have never made $2 million. Those guys were fine having that little stand.
And which they weren't allowed to have anymore because they gave up the rights to their name.
They gave up the rights.
I thought they could keep their own.
No, they gave up the
rights. And in the
to
movie,
name.
that last meeting,
they gave it all up. But and that's always the dark side is that you look at business and you go, all right, I'm trying to build this thing. I can either be loved or I can build a business. And it's very difficult to have both. Right?
I don't care about being loved.
But you look at something like McDonald's and you go, man, those guys totally got screwed. But McDonald's never would have been what it was without someone that came along and said, I'm going to do whatever needs to be done for the better of this business.
Yeah.
And look what it is.
Right.
Well, top 5 iconic brands in the world.
And it's all over Kuwait.
Billions.
Exactly. Every quarter mile in Kuwait, there's a McDonald's.
So I don't always hate on that.
In Tokyo, they have a shrimp burger that looks amazing.
Yeah, nobody's
Hawaii, all the McDonald's, the side dish is pineapple.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
You don't get
All
fries,
right.
you get pineapple.
Listen, I think I've bored your audience enough, but I just wanted to
No,
get
that was
those
good,
things out.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate, honestly, we
Which
appreciate
again
your-
brings me back to you abandoned your goddamn podcast.
I did.
There's
nothing of interest. Nobody cares about social media.
Call it doing the Twitters. You and Randy could do it.
We could do like a bad disco remix.
A tweet off.
But no, we find Jared at dailydetroit.com. We find Billy at milodetroit.com.
Yeah.
And appreciate you guys spending your Monday night with us and appreciate your friendship. We're going to wrap things up for episode 279 here of the IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank Thinkful.com and also Opshini for keeping the lights on behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy. Do us all a favor. Drink
Randy,
up your drinks.
Twitters.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up.
Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you guys.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe on the cheese.
Beer me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop? Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.